We were not talking about Caitlin Clark before Angel Reese walked up to her, did this, and pointed to the ring.
So last night was the 3-point contest in the WNBA's All-Star Weekend. And most people are like trying to figure out, like, where was Caitlin Clark? There seemed to be an APB out for her because out of all the noise that was made about Caitlin Clark growing the league and taking advantage of the opportunities to grow the league, well, where was Caitlin Clark? And, you know, you have people like David Portnoy, who should be diagnosed for all sorts of mental illnesses, went on a lame rant criticizing people for supposedly hating on Caitlin Clark because she's in a position to grow the league. Well, it doesn't seem like Caitlin Clark cares that much about growing the league. For everybody to compare her to Steph Curry and she avoided the 3-point shooting contest, that's the same as LeBron James skipping the dunk contest when he can elevate the league just by participating in such an event. Well, let's hit the rewind and replay the David Portnoy rant where he criticized everybody for hating on Caitlin Clark because she's in position to grow the league. But when she had the opportunity to grow the league, she basically said, nah, I'm good.
The amount of hatred that Caitlin Clark is getting, not from like average people, average fans like myself. I'm instead talking about former players, talking heads, race baiters, every UConn basketball player. Nobody wants to give this girl her flowers. But more importantly, how dumb are these other WNBA players who are crying, oh, Caitlin, why is she getting off? She's elevating her game. Yeah, I know. She has a Gatorade commercial. State Farm. She's the face of the game. She's going to make tens of millions on endorsement. I offered her $10 million to play in my rec league because she puts asses in seats. People want to watch her. How don't you get that's elevating all of you? All of you that nobody really fucking cared about.
You know, he's absolutely correct as far as Caitlin being able to put asses in seats. Where he's incorrect is people are not hating on her in the way that he's stating. He's pretty much communicating that there's some venomous hate towards Caitlin Clark for the progress she's made, you know what I'm saying, and the attention that she's been able to bring to the WNBA. But we got to remember, Angel Reese is also part of that progress when it comes to the WNBA. Yes, a lot of people want to see Caitlin Clark, but a lot of people want to see Angel Reese as well. And I think a lot of people struggle with that fact that Caitlin Clark has her viewership and so does Angel Reese. Now, if you want to say Caitlin Clark has more of a viewership and a following than Angel Reese, okay, but we can't say that Angel Reese does not. And there's a lot of people that are watching the WNBA for Angel Reese as well as Caitlin Clark. And for the people that struggle with the fact that a lot of people weren't even really focused on Caitlin Clark like that in college until Angel Reese beat her in the championship and did the John Cena back to her. It was at that moment that Caitlin Clark started to, you know, gain a much more following than what she already had. Caitlin Clark did the John Cena to one of the players from Louisville. And then that kind of sparked conversation just slightly. Not too many people criticized her. It wasn't really a big deal until Angel Reese did it to her. Then everybody started talking about Caitlin Clark. And then her name in the households of people across America and across the world started to become more noticeable as a result. So for the people that struggle with the fact that Caitlin Clark was not known to a lot of people until Angel Reese John Cena'd her in the Women's NCAA Championship, there's a female that actually admitted that Caitlin Clark became much more of a household name once she had the engagement with Angel Reese when she got John Cena'd. Let's check it out.
She's not wrong. Yeah. Polarization requires debate, requires passion. People feel very strongly about opinions. They want to argue one side or the other. How did that happen? How did we get here? What she just said, the national championship game. We were not talking about Caitlin Clark before Angel Reese walked up to her, did this, and pointed to the ring. This is not my opinion. I lived it. I watched it. It was recorded. It was broadcasted live. We were not talking about Caitlin Clark before that moment. And that's okay, because you can be extremely talented and not interesting. There are a lot of extremely talented athletes and games and series and sports that we don't talk about daily on this show because the public has not shown enough interest in them. That moment launched their careers. And when we started talking about it, I said it then, and it has all played out as I said it would. Well, I didn't know they were going to match up again in the tournament. That kind of broke my way. But this is Bird and Magic. It's not a perfect comp, but it is the path in which launched this conversation, this polarizing conversation that has everyone captivated. Sometimes something interesting has to happen that sparks an interest, that brings attention. Did Caitlin earn the attention by being a great player? Yes. Was Angel Reese in her face doing that because she was winning a national championship, which Caitlin was not doing? Yes. They both needed each other in that moment. It created the conversation. And then, as I said it would, it launched a great platform for this year's tournament, which was very heavily watched, the most ever. And Caitlin came back better than she was the year before. And LSU was good again. And then they matched up again. And then Iowa won this time. And then they both went into the draft, and now they are both in the WNBA, and we care about both of these players. There are a lot of people that care about Angel Reese. That doesn't mean she's as good as Caitlin Clark. It also doesn't mean that what she's saying is not true, because multiple things can be true at the same time. Everything in life is not existing in a vacuum. Just because she said this does not mean that Caitlin Clark is not great and that people are not watching because Caitlin Clark is great. All she is saying is, and she is factually correct, the two needed each other. She was a part of that. And it's inarguable because that is what happened. We were not talking about Caitlin Clark on these shows.
So there you have it. That's the perspective of a woman. I remember watching, what's the dude named? Wiley, Marcellus Wiley or whatever his name is, man. He used to be on FS1 with fat ass chunky soup eating Jason Whitlock. And he has his own YouTube channel. He criticized Angel Reese for being delusional, saying that people aren't coming to the WNBA games and not viewing WA games or not being involved with the WNBA culture because of her. It's more so because of Caitlin Clark. Bruh, you are so out of touch. And you're even starting to look like you're pandering to a specific demographic. But aside from that, here you have Joy Taylor, who's a female, admitting that Caitlin Clark was not much of a household name at the time until she met Angel Reese in the championship. And when Angel Reese won, searched her down and did the John Cena, that's what truly ignited the flame under women's basketball. And a lot more eyes was placed on Caitlin Clark as well as Angel Reese. Is Caitlin Clark have more followers, subscribers, people that like her than Angel Reese? Probably so. But, I mean, if we're going to get into numbers, whatever. But what we can't deny is that there are people that's rolling with Angel Reese. That shouldn't bother y'all. All right, so David Portnoy, hey, I got a number for you. You know, if you need to go talk to somebody for some mental help, man, you know what I'm saying? So just reach out to me. But does anybody agree with Joy Taylor here? If there's anybody that disagree, drop it in the comments. But I hope to be back with more videos. I appreciate everybody for riding with me. Make sure you smash that like button. This is SmashDaLikeTV, so please smash that like button for me. And make sure you hit the subscribe before you take the next ride. Your brother Be Easy is out of here like Vladimir. Peace.